this guy's a problem. Khabib's cousin, Umar Nurmagomedov, knocked out Raoni Barcelos in the very first round. It was Umar's first official KO of his career, and he became the first man to knock out Barcelos. Crazy, man. And he went out to say that he didn't really know what was going on. He didn't know how the knockout happened. He doesn't remember it. And it just tells you is purely on instincts, on reflexes. And this is something I used to talk about with Khabib. Khabib was a guy that was very good with his reflexes. He had good eyes. He knew how to react in certain situations purely off instinct when it came to his striking. And just like Khabib, Umar also has that kind of sporadic striking defense and even some of his offense. It doesn't look too clean sometimes, but it's effective. And it could beat guys who are on paper supposed to be better strikers than him. Barcelos was supposed to be the superior striker, but it really didn't show in the fight. Barcelos only landed like one time clean, but he was getting countered by those dipping right overhands twice. He got peppered in the face with jabs constantly, and just like Khabib, Umar has a very fast jab, but from the southpaw stance. And that sporadic combination at the end, judging from Umar's reaction in the interview, it just seemed like something Umar wanted to throw out there. It didn't seem like something that was too calculated, but there are two things we could look at prior that does show some holes that he could have instinctively exploited. This one was about 40 seconds prior, where he just threw like a similar kind of combination, or at least a similar pattern. He threw a front kick and then blitzed down with his left hand and then right hook to exit out. So he went kick, left hand, right hand. That's the same thing with the knockout sequence. Kick, but this time to the body, left hand, right hand. Looking at this, he probably had a good feeling with throwing this kind of combo. But the big one was at 2 minutes and 43 seconds of the first round, where Umar threw a switch body kick from the orthodox stance. This is very similar to the body kick that he hit Barcelos at the end of the fight. And the only reaction we have to notice here is Barcelos does not pick his hands up, and his chin is right there. Off of this reaction, it shows us that if Umar throws another body kick like this, there's a left hook waiting to hit Barcelos. He's not going to defend it at all. The right hand might be a little bit trickier to land because Barcelos' left shoulder is higher to guard himself. So in that amount of time, Barcelos could probably be quick enough to use his shoulder to block a right hand. But there's nothing blocking the left hand at all. So this moment showed the weakness, the opening on Barcelos' defense from the body kick. The left hand was not supposed to knock him out. That was not the punch he put that much power into. It seemed like he put more power into his right hand, but it just shows you the punches you don't see coming. Those are the ones that knock you out. And Umar put his entire body behind everything he threw there. His entire trajectory was moving forward, right at Barcelos, and Umar's a pretty big guy for the bantamweight division. So that's a lot of weight, a lot of mass connecting to Barcelos' chin. And just from his reaction, you could tell that Barcelos did not see the punch at all. No defense, his chin was right there for the hit. And it seemed like he didn't really react to the body kick either that well, as it seemed like Umar didn't even know what he was really throwing. He threw a knee and then extended into the body kick, and blitzed down with the left hook right straight as he was exiting out with the right straight afterward. It's just those reflexes. That's what separates a lot of these guys from that region to many other fighters around the world. And it's crazy because Umar did not even shoot one takedown. In fact, Barcelos shot a takedown on Umar, which of course failed. So he didn't even reinforce that fear or that intimidation of his takedowns. He didn't fake takedowns to get Barcelos to think that they were coming, so it made it easier for him to strike. Of course, going into the fight, Barcelos knows that Umar is a great wrestler, so he's of course going to know that Umar can shoot at any moment. But in the fight, he never even shot once to set up his striking, which shows how more impressive this performance was for him. And guys who are such good grapplers like Umar, they could throw kicks all over the place and not worry about getting taken to the ground, right? This guy's more of a kicker than a puncher. It even showed in this fight as well. And not only that though, Umar can lean away from all of his opponent's strikes and not worry about giving up his hips to the opponent for takedowns. That's another benefit that great grapplers have. They can have these big retreating movements from the opponent's strikes and not worry at all about takedowns. Strikers, if they do the same thing, they're going to have to worry about takedowns. So they can't lean and have these big retreating movements like Umar does. And other than that, that was pretty much the majority of the fight. I mean, most of it was Umar throwing some kicks, missing most of them, and peppering Barcelos with jabs. The guy's extremely quick, and I'm going to be honest, it might be too early to call, but I can absolutely see him becoming a champion in the future. He has the kind of grappling skill that most other guys are not going to be able to defend against. He has dangerous kicks that he can throw so quickly at you, and he has those Nurmagomedov instincts. I just don't know what's up with these guys, that they just have a good eye for everything that's happening in the octagon. They react to things so quickly, they rarely get hit clean. Even with their quote-unquote sloppy striking technique, they make it work and it's very effective. And they find these kind of openings off of their jabs, right uppercuts, high kicks, all of this stuff in places that you don't expect them to land. So ultimately, it was a great performance from Umar Nurmagomedov. I did not expect him to look as good as he did, especially without shooting a takedown. If you were to tell me that Umar was going to beat Barcelos and knock him out without shooting a single takedown, I would have thought you're crazy. But here we are, man. These young guys are just getting better, and every single time they surprise me like this, I get so much happier for the sport.